Hey guys, this will be a little bit of a different style of video than you're probably used to, but it is full of more info than I can usually fit into a shorter informational video. So if you could help me out by staying till the end and letting me know what you think of this, I would really appreciate it. Without further ado, enjoy. The first step we're going to talk about is mixing up timings to catch people dropping shield with delays or with multi-hits. Whenever people talk about spacing, it's usually horizontal spacing, like how far you are from your opponent when you land. But in this example, we're going to be talking about the vertical spacing. When ZeroSuit falls with a neutral air, she can mix up her timings with like fast falls and just when you pull the trigger on the nair. A lot of people will try to parry it as well, so doing like late nairs is almost anti-parry. And I think that's one of the most important parts about this. One thing you could do as well is if you do a high nair on shield in a couple interactions, like shield pressure interactions, then they will get used to that timing, and then you can almost condition them to want to drop shield after the nair. But when you do those high nairs, you have space to drift, so you can either cross up or you could drift backwards, and that allows it to have some sort of safety net in a way. Definitely character dependent, so don't do this on like characters with really good out of shield options or particularly threatening ones wherever you drift. Using these mix-ups will allow you to counter like parrying and just overly aggressive people out of shield. Once they lock themselves into shield, they do have limited options, so be sure to go over in your head like what options these characters have, like whatever matchup you're playing, and figure out like what you want to do about them holding shield. I think that's an important thing for ZeroSuit players to think about beforehand. Another shield pressure mix-up to do, it's like a timing and multi-hit mix-up with forward air. I think it's important to use this interchangeably, like with nair. Your goal is to be as ambiguous as possible, so using falling fair adds another hitbox. So if they drop shield after the first hit, then they just get hit by falling fair 2, which combos in like up smash, dash attack, grab, and like a bunch of things. You can also land behind their shield. So crossing up behind their shield is like super broken. Also keep in mind what matchups you're playing. There's a lot of characters that they have like no out of shield options behind them, especially on characters that pancake like ZeroSuit. She gets super low to the ground landing with fair. So using horizontal and vertical mix-ups with timings and spacings and everything can allow you to almost deal with shield, but this is not a foolproof way to beat shield because people will hold shield all the time, and you're gonna have to find out other ways to deal with it too, which we actually talk about in this podcast episode, so you should check this out. We definitely want to abuse flip jump out of shield and out of parry. Flip jump gets intangibility on frame 3, and if you do it out of shield with no parry, it'll be frame 6. So if you're stuck in shield, like in a corner pressure scenario, you see this a lot with like Fox or Cloud, which are hard matchups for ZeroSuit. If you're in the corner like that, doing flip jump out of shield is a super strong option, because by the time Fox gets another back air out, you have at least 6 frames to do so. And if you're really feeling it, you could parry. If you parry anything, barring a couple moves, like I tried against Sephiroth Octo Slash, it just doesn't work. But if you parry any move, for the most part, you can flip jump out of shield or just flip jump out of parry. And because it's frame 3 intangibility, you get 3 extra frames for the parry, so you just get out of there like for free. And this seems kind of defensive and lame, but ZeroSuit's really not good at fighting up close like that against a lot of characters. So if you're getting pressured like that, like shield pressured in the corner, resetting neutral, there's nothing wrong with it, and it might seem lame, but we're trying to survive out here. So for my third tip, I wanted to bring up a concept that might be holding a lot of ZeroSuits back. I think this for a lot of characters as well. It's going to be relying less on early kills and more on holding advantage. I think the trap that a lot of like mid to high level players will fall in is they learn how to play around their gimmick really well, and then they'll like super abuse the gimmick. But the better I get at this game, the more I realize like I'm not hitting nair flip kick like nearly as often as I used to. One set that sticks out to me is my Lima set at first attack. Lima just, like, he just did not get hit by Nair flip kick. I would get the perfect percent window, and like off a tech chase, I'd like Nair flip kick. This dude DIs perfectly, and sure, against different matchups, it might be easier to hit them like more consistently, but if someone could get out of it at the top level, they will. Those dudes are freaks. But yeah, rely less on the gimmicks like Nair flip kick. I think ladders are like pretty matchup dependent. Like ladders are always good, but certain matchups that you can abuse it harder. But fishing for those gimmicks will definitely hold you back. And the value of maintaining advantage state, if you get someone in the corner, if you get someone in the air or on ledge, just resetting over and over will add up a lot of percent quickly. And it's kind of a grind. It's definitely going to force you to learn how to play the game too, as opposed to just like tunnel visioning on strong options. It'll force you to react more and position better, which is very beneficial. But at the end of the day, you will be a better player, and you know this will apply to other characters too. And when a new Smash game comes out, hopefully soon, you'll be ahead of the game. So definitely avoid spamming like Nair when they're near ledge. Use the timing mix-ups we talked about in our first tip. The set I'm going to show is against Chunky Kong, where it's definitely easier to get those ladders, and you can abuse them against Donkey Kong. Same with like Nair flip kick and stuff. But I definitely value getting a stray up air way more, and because it's a little more skewed in this matchup, this might be a bad example, but because up air has the potential of frame trapping and just keeping advantage, that's the most important part. Up air, maintaining advantage, doing a ton of percent, because if you get one up air, you could probably get another up air. And then they're still in a bad spot. They use their double jump and they have no resources. They have air dodge and they have like an aerial. So definitely try your best to maintain advantage more. See how that works out for you. And then you'll definitely find more times where by doing this, you open up the ability to hit those early stocks or gimmicks. People will try, they'll be desperate in disadvantage. When you're getting juggled for so long, you'll just like fast fall air dodge or like drop with an aerial. Like they'll just lose all patience when they should be patient and like going to ledge. They'll just fall. And that's your chance to get like a falling up air into like a ladder maybe, or like falling up air back air, you know, set them up off stage. There's a lot of depth to it, but I think that is pretty much what I'll talk about for this tip. Tip number 4 is always be moving. I tell myself this is more of like a power phrase that I use when I'm playing. If I notice I'm playing bad, one of the first things I'll say is like, am I moving? Because Zero Suit has some crazy mobility, and she could be really ambiguous with her movement. Using a lot of like slingshots, really good. Just dash speed being really good. Air speed's good. Just having as many movement options as you can while using them for an intended purpose. I like to do dash up, slingshot back. I think that's a really good zone breaker bait, because they think you're dashing into their burst range, and then you're just in the air positioned to hit them for thinking that they can hit you. It's like a really good bait. But always be moving. It's really hard to hit an evasive Zero Suit. She has flip jump. If you don't like a situation at all, like in the slightest, you can just flip jump away. That is always an option. It's kind of lame. You see a lot of Zero Suits kind of spam it, but if you start using it more, resetting neutral, then you'll kind of see spots. If you go back and watch yourself, you'll see spots where you like probably could have played an interaction better or done something else. But don't be afraid to use this option. You will see matchups where they can punish you for that. I do think like Fox or like fast characters, they'll just be able to catch you or keep you in the corner. So try it, and when it doesn't feel comfortable to do, then take note of it and you know, move on, you know, learn from it. So always be moving. Tip 4. And for tip 5, it goes hand in hand with the movement because it's empty hopping. The threat of Zair If you want to know more about how to use Zair and just the mid-range, check out this video. It's one of my favorite videos I did. I wish I expanded more on it, but the empty hops will allow you to threaten a Zair or a Nair, and it'll allow you to force them into shield if they're not comfortable, if you fall with an aerial. And if they're running up and shielding a lot, that gives you time to reposition into like a better spot, or just reset neutral, or pick up on habits. It just gives you a lot of information and time due to shield locking them into a select few options. Being stuck in shield is not a good thing in neutral. You see a lot of players like dash up shield. A lot of times they're doing that for info. They're not really trying to hit the opponent. And people who are trying to hit you will run up shield and then try to hit you out of shield. But by then, you have repositioned and you are now in advantage, or you're hitting them instead. So definitely use empty hops. It'll make you feel so quick as well. When you're empty hopping, you could throw out a Zair here and there, go to the platform. Like, empty hops make your gameplay so much quicker for the opponent, so they have to risk getting Zaired or like interacting in that mid-range, and as soon as they try to do that, then you punish them for trying to go around it, or however they deal with it. You are now getting that info. So if you have any more questions about that, comment. I know I kind of gave a lot of information there, but I appreciate you tuning into this video. It's definitely a different video for me, but I love rambling about the game. It's fun, and I want to hear what you guys think of these. Yeah, if there's any tip here that you want me to expand on, let me know, and we'll talk about it. Have a banger day.